Hi, I'm Rajeev Dassani. I'm the owner of Master Key Visual Effects and the director of Watercolor Postcards. Visual effects today, they're very interesting. As the owner of Master Key, we do a lot of work for television as well as film, but a lot of our work is in television these days, and it's a very tricky place right now. I think almost all TV and movies rely on visual effects to pull off the amazing things that are required today, making LA look like another place, DC or Toronto or Paris, or doing creatures or monsters or fire or water and all these things that we know and love in the industry. And it's tricky because they're very tough to do and hard to pull off. They require a lot of technical expertise, and the business wants to do these things, but they want to keep the costs down. It requires a lot of skilled people to do it. And what we're finding is that they have to respect the artists, and the artists in turn have to understand the realities of the business. And as we go forward, we're just trying to make it work. Master Key is specialized in really bringing a very high level of quality to television, especially on very tight deadlines, by being efficient, being smart about how to do it, talking to the client, working out how do we make it work, how do we pull off what seems impossible on their budget, on their schedule. Our attitude is nothing is impossible. I mean, with all visual effects these days, you can do anything, but you have to understand the reality of how to do it, and we've managed to do that. With Watercolor Postcards, it's interesting. It's a small indie film, but with an amazing cast and really an amazing scope of what they want to do. And when I was brought on as director, it was very important that we make the world feel big and rich and really pull off all of these visionary ideas that Conrad brought to the table. And in order to do that, there were certain things that we just couldn't do without some level of visual effects. Fireworks in the sky, even changing signage that we couldn't change on the day or didn't want to take the time to make ourselves, making backgrounds look like a different place. We shot in Los Angeles and then shot in Barstow, but we wanted to look like we shot in Texas. The whole film occurs there. So to make it look like Texas, we had to remove palm trees, to add in hills, to change the color of things to make it reflect what it looked like. Even little things like it would be cold on a day we were shooting, but we needed to look hot. So we had to change the color of things. We had to take out the cold breath and add in sweat beads. It sounds crazy, but this is how you sell a movie like this. You sell the inherent reality of what you're doing. And that's what we did with this film. And I think the results speak for themselves. People from Texas tell me it looks like we shot there. People don't know that the fireworks in the sky at the picnic aren't real, that we had no fireworks. It's really just a bunch of people looking up at a big empty sky and us flashing some lights and then us putting in the fireworks. And I think it's completely realistic. And so do people who watch the movie. So that's kind of the nature of it. For those who want to get into visual effects, like I said, it's a very technically difficult process, but that said, almost all the best artists are self-trained. It's amazing how, it's not about schooling, it's not about expensive classes necessarily, even though those can really help. It's about having the attitude of wanting to learn. I think if you want to get into it, you should download software, trial versions of software, and just start playing around and learning and seeing how things work. Because I think the thing about this industry more than anything else, and this is true of visual effects and film in general, is that it's a merger of creative and technical. So you have to understand how things are done, but there's a million people out there who know tools, but there's very few who have the creative vision to look at a shot. Pulling off a visual effects shot is about understanding how to make it happen, understanding what looks good to your eye, and then thinking about technically how can I make that happen. Now, just knowing the technical doesn't necessarily mean you can actually pull off a shot that looks real, and really do all the things that, it's ultimately artistry. And so besides learning technically, I think doing creative things, drawing, painting, understanding balance of frame, these things are very important, and learning those things and learning how artists have done it for centuries is key.